Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chel Stars podcast. This is episode 19, and we got almost the full crew back here, minus Michael, hence why I am stuck doing the intro, since Aaron does not want to do the intro and outro. I don't know why that's a rule, but...
It's definitely a rule.
Okay, well, it doesn't make any sense. We want to apologize for a little bit of a wait in between our last podcast and now. A lot's been happening, busy time of the year, and obviously, if you know, we're mostly all Vancouver based, and we have been hit with major snowstorms and been very busy. And Kyle, obviously, still kind of recovering, finally has a bit of a voice now. And Corey basically almost lost his voice.
Yeah, I sound like this today. So I haven't been smoking for 50 years. It's just just lost my voice, that's all.
So yeah, since our last podcast, we've had quite a bit of news. Obviously, we'll not be able to cover every single little tidbit of it, but we got some major ones to cover, which Kyle will be going over. And then we got our usual Canucks recap, which Corey will be taking over for. Aaron's got a little segment about Rutherford, which I will not get into further. And of course, trivia near the end. So, Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, let's rock and roll, guys. Obviously, a crazy couple weeks in the league. Probably the biggest goals. Just that he's missed, 2 seasons just due to lockouts, or a season and a half just because of lockouts alone. Without lockouts, he could literally be at Gretzky's record right now.
May I? You know what? It makes me even more pissed is that without those lockouts, and you can throw the missed games due to COVID in there.
Yeah.
We would probably hit 1,000 goals, which would, like, breaking Gretzky's record is cool, but like the 1,000 goals would even be like unreal, and I just feel like we're actually robbed of that.
That's so true. That is so true. I love how Corey's pissed off just a minute and a half into the show.
Yeah, I thought I missed something. That was a lot of aggression out of nowhere. Corey, you don't think he's going to make it to 1,000 then?
That's so hard. I mean, no. I mean,
That's scoring over 50 goals each of the next 4 seasons, and he's, 37 or 38?
37, so breaking Gretzky's will be is just attainable, I would say.
Yeah. He plays till he's 39, 40, maybe 41. He'll definitely break Gretzky's record. At least that's my opinion.
He'll hit 900 for sure. I'm just kind of I want to see the 1,000 because he's missed, I would say, 2 full seasons, with 1 full season being a lockout and then half a season plus COVID. He's missed like two full seasons. That's like, in his prime, that's like 100 goals.
That easy 100 goals.
Yeah. Well, so
there's an alternate universe out there where Ovechkin's already hit 900 goals and beat Gretzky's record and is going for 1,000. And unfortunately, it's not the universe that we live in.
Yeah, I wish I was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does he hit it? Well, does anyone think he's not going to get there?
I'd be shocked.
Gretzky's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Do it, so.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why he's still in the NHL.
Well, that's I think what Washington has said. They're always going to want to be competitive as long as Ovi's competing for that, record.
That's basically their goal now, right? They've said they're not going to go into a rebuild until they can get that done for him.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but then you think about it, it's going to be financially beneficial for them to be almost promoting this record breaking. Once he starts getting closer, they're going to have all the games on TV. There's going to be fans going to all his games. It's going to be huge.
Yeah. Hopefully Backstrom can get healthy and have the assist on the record-breaking goal.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Love it.
not only did he break 800 goals, he also got the record for most road goals. I think we were also looking at road goals, right? 402,
Mhm.
Yep.
which is just a weird stat to track, but
And even
So-
today, shooting this on December 22nd, about an hour ago, I think he broke the record for most shots.
Jeez.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
in
with like
total.
some
I don't know
crazy
when they
number,
started
like
tracking that, but yeah, it's like
I
6,200
feel-
or something. I don't even know.
yeah, 62-11.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
I was surprised he passed, which was Ray Bork. I didn't know Ray Bork had that many shots, especially for a defenseman.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I didn't. That surprised me.
Yeah. Anything
But
else
he
with
was-
Ovechkin? Sorry.
About Ovechkin.
Yeah.
No.
You
Go.
sure? You
Go,
sure? 'Cause-
Ovi, go. I mean, I did have something. Yeah, you know that streak of like empty net goals he was getting,
Sure.
and like
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like a lot of like I'll call them Gretzky faithfuls. I'll call them that don't that aren't on the OE train. I feel like they were kind of complaining, always getting all these empty net goals. But like, who has the most empty net goals? Gretzky. And who do you think is gonna have the most empty net goals if Ovi passes Gretzky? It'll probably be Ovi. So I don't understand.
But like the argument with like against empty net goals doesn't even make sense, because that means that he's playing in a situation where it's 6-on-5 or 6-on-4, and he's defensively responsible enough to get the puck and work it past the other team and score when he's down men. So I just don't see that
True.
being Ovi, like anyone who scores an empty net goal, you're shorthanded, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they're relying on him to be out there with usually
Yeah.
a goal or two up.
Well, I mean, you are scoring on an empty net, so like that is a pretty big deal, I think. Like, there's no goalie, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Still, it's a shitty argument to have why it's not like a legitimate record, but
Also, for the next 2 to 3 years, Ovi's gonna be on the ice every time there's an empty net,
Oh yeah.
regardless of the kind of player he is.
coaches will get fired over not having Ovechkin play the right situations.
Honestly, like
Well,
this
every
dude can do absolutely zero back checking, and he's gonna get all the ice time he wants.
And just have the pick of the litter of line mates.
You're pretty much like he's basically coach's kid for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, moving on to other exciting NHL news. Chris Letang is back on the ice and playing games just a couple weeks after suffering a stroke, which is incredible. This is the second stroke of his career. I think you guys touched on that last episode a little bit, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So the second stroke of his career, and crazy lucky that he noticed something was wrong and was able to get diagnosed and get treatment real quick, and obviously have a super fast recovery. So I did not think he would be back that quick.
No, God no. Especially after having a second one.
Yeah, craziness. So thank goodness he's back, and hope that he doesn't have to deal with that anymore in his career. He's had an awesome career, so I hope that he finishes up strong.
Not only that, though, that he came back, and I don't know if his first game back, but he's been playing about 25, 26 minutes a night.
Holy shit.
You look at his last 5 games, it's averaging out at 27, which is insane. I know Petrie's out, so they're kind of relying on him more, but that's,
The guy just had a
lot.
stroke, bro.
Yeah, like it's It's a lot of minutes for a guy who just had a second stroke.
Yeah, so when he came back, he played 22 minutes his first game back.
Jesus.
And then he hasn't played less than 25 minutes a game since.
So they eased him into it for the first game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was real easy. Yeah. I mean, they say 22 minutes of time on ice in an NHL game is a walk in the park. It's when you get higher than that, it's when it gets difficult. So, another crazy happening around the league, Tage Thompson, 5-goal game, and that came in only about 2 minutes or two periods of play, because he only had like a shift or two in the third period. So he could have had a lot more goals if they were trying to break a record there.
Yeah, I think it was like in 6 or 7 minutes of ice time in the first period, he already had 4 goals and an assist. So that's pretty
Sounds like
effective.
Corey at roller hockey.
No argument there. I didn't realize how tall Tage Thompson is.
Oh,
6'6".
he's massive.
He's like, yeah. I don't know.
And he has like some of the best hands in the league.
He's the opposite. He's the anti-Tyler Myers.
So,
Whoa.
I mean, you're not wrong, but they both get paid about the same. So,
Well.
Yeah, they both play the same minutes, I guess.
So the record for NHL goals in a game is 7 goals. Do you wish that they would have pushed Thompson out there a bit more in the third period to try to tie or break that record? Or is that just unsportsmanlike at that point?
They were winning by a big margin. Is that right?
Yeah, I think they're killing him.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't think it's unsportsmanlike. I mean,
Game's the game.
it's the NHL. Like, you're not gonna go
right.
easy on people.
Give him that
I don't know.
extra confidence boost.
But fair enough, they
Well-
don't want him to like get injured for no reason. There's no point to really push it.
Yeah, I think they were putting the team first, which is like you play your bottom lines to get more minutes when you're up in the game.
Yeah, it's the
So-
right call in that situation.
Yeah.
As much as that would have been really cool to see.
I would have liked if they would have pushed it a bit more and tried to get him to tie that record. Like how often does a guy score 5 goals in 2 periods of hockey? Once every 20 years?
Yeah, not often, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, even 5 goals in a whole game, like that doesn't even happen.
Yeah,
really ever.
exactly. And it was against Columbus. Like, he could have broken that record.
Well, he'll
Yeah. Last thing I got to talk about, Avs recap. Obviously still dealing with a ton of injuries, but thankfully our guys are slowly coming back and our winning ways are also slowly coming back. It was a rough couple games there where Ranton was our only top 6 player remaining in the active lineup, but since then we've gotten Lehkonen back, Rodriguez, and Nichushkin, and McKinnon shouldn't be too far away, as well as Landeskog, so we're getting there. All the young guys and all the AHLers too stepped up in the absence, so we are rolling into the new year.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks scary as hell when they're all back.
If they can all get back. Man, that team has the injury bug. Every single year it's the same thing. Every single year there's like a flurry of injuries.
Yeah.
every fan of every team says that though.
Hey, but like it's always bad. And like
Yeah.
and like a couple of you guys mentioned it too in one of our first episodes, like you avoid drafting Avs players sometimes because they always get injured. Or they're just
that
like
was like mainly addressed at McKinnon.
yeah, it was mainly at McKinnon, but like it's not incorrect for Landeskog either. Or
Right. He's always hurt, yeah.
yeah, so
Didn't Renton have a hat trick his first game back? Or his second game back or something?
I don't know if Renton missed any time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he's been like
he was not
carrying the team.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Renton did have a hat trick though a couple weeks ago against St. Louis. He scored
Yeah,
all 3 goals, including the overtime winner.
yeah, I did see that.
Which was just awesome.
Yeah,
And then he's been carrying the load.
well, then they're
the last
good.
10 games.
Then they're
So,
good.
yeah, no, Renton. Yeah. They're good. They're gonna win a cup this year. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's no Pedersen 5 points, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Kind of a random question out of nowhere, but you think the Avs are going to win another cup. Who do you think's like their toughest competition?
Their toughest competition on their way to winning a cup, or like the toughest competition in the league, like overall?
Well, I mean, on the way to winning a cup. Because we can just almost assume they'll make the playoffs.
I think Vegas in the conference finals would be their toughest challenge. Because I don't know. Yeah, I think the conference finals would be the toughest because I think they would get out of the division fine, like beating either Minnesota, Dallas. I mean, Dallas might be a bit tough, but
Dallas.
Yeah, I think Vegas is definitely would be like their first like tough competition. Then whoever gets out of the, I mean, theoretically, if they get that far, whoever gets out of the East as well, would probably be pretty serious competition. My guess is Carolina on that, but we discussed that at the start of the season, so yeah. But who knows? Crazier things have happened. I remember when we did our playoff bracket a few years ago, all the underdogs won. So
yeah.
So you never know when it comes to hockey.
That was 2019, wasn't it?
You got a better memory than me. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was at work and one of my coworkers we had playoff brackets and they made like the Bizarro bracket and it was like with all the underdogs winning and that was the bracket that won. And like it almost predicted everything right. It was crazy.
Yeah. If you took underdogs the entire playoffs, I think you would have been winning money.
Yeah. Honestly.
Brutal. That's all I got for around the league news. I think we're going to step into the Canucks now. I'll hand it off to you, Corey.
Thank you. Yes, Canucks news. So, we left off kind of early December. And since then, a lot has happened with the Canucks. Their games, they kind of went into this period of, we had a week or two of like really high scoring games, come from behind a little bit, which is refreshing for us. Winning in overtime. So all these like high scoring, actually I probably lost my voice yelling at my TV. We're trying to watch this team, like use back and forth games in overtime. And then recently they've kind of dropped a few at home, 5-1 to the Jets, 5-1 to the Blues. So like, pretty much snoozers for those games if you're a Canucks fan. But off the ice, there's been a lot of Horvat trade rumors. Media has been asking him, and he's kind of shut any questions down. So I'll ask this question to everyone here. Horvat, is he here next year, yes or no? If you say yes, then pick someone else that won't be here because we know that they can't. Well, we know that they can't keep everyone, right? So let's start with Max Horvat. Yes or no? Is he here next year?
As much as I want to say yes, I think I've come to terms with it being a no. As a guy who owns a Horvat jersey, that really saddens me.
Yeah. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with no as well, unfortunately.
Kyle?
I'm gonna go no. I think he'll probably be in somewhere on the East Coast.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
East, where?
I want to say Long Island, honestly.
Really? Yeah. Long Island. Okay.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Funny how Long Island always comes up.
Yeah, that's my guess. It'll be weird. Like I think teams will still have cap issues next year, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of deal he gets. I think he'll get a Kadri-esque deal where it'll be not like a first choice place to go play, but a team that can actually offer him the money.
Right. 8x8. Yeah. Or I guess
Was he?
He was $7 million for 7 years.
7-7?
I feel like Horvat might go for like 8 or so. Depends.
I mean, he's a bit younger than Kadri.
I think it really depends how he finishes up his season. Teams have short-term memory when it comes to that stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Well, he'll probably finish with at least 35 goals.
Yeah.
I'll say, just for the sake of it, I'll say they do re-sign and they move. I'll say they move Besser. But yeah, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think they'll move Besser regardless, but at the same time, like the expectations from the trade, like a Besser trade, are just so weird because they want somebody of Besser's quality, but not Besser.
What is Besser quality? He's hard to really.
He's like a Walmart Patrick Laine.
He's like, don't even. I wouldn't. He's like a. I don't know. He's just a very like
one-dimensional.
Yeah. Yeah, like he just doesn't skate. But he's the 2018 All-Star MVP or something. That's worth something,
That was
right?
his rookie year, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
definitely ups his trade value.
He's got the truck. Yeah. So the Canucks, I don't know what to say to the listeners here. It's I've kind of come to realization, like I thought this core, yeah, it wasn't, I had a hope that it could be a winning core. And I'm talking about, Horvat, Hughes, Besser, Miller, Pettersson, kind of like Demko, kind of throw all those guys together. I thought I had the pieces. Like I thought at best it could maybe win a cup, but watching this team, like they just don't play well. They just don't play well as a team. Like these games that they're winning by one goal, these shooting contests, like yeah, they have good players. They have good individual players. Pettersson's great. Miller's great when he wants to be, I guess. Horvat, I think, is a very, very solid player and a great player for like a contending team. But it's not going to happen. Like they can barely make the playoffs. This team, like it's so blow it up. I think they just made wrong moves. Their defense is not good enough. Maybe take your youngest. So sure, take Hughes and Pettersson. And, I don't know why in the hell they re-signed Miller. That's looking like a terrible deal more and more every day. And
Damn, it's almost like somebody called that.
well, but you know what, Kyle? Like, they're doing worse than even you thought. Like, they shouldn't be this bad. They have enough good players to be a competitive team. They don't. When you watch them play, I don't know what the issue is. It has like, I guess it comes down to coaching, but even further than that, like, they just don't play well together. Like, watching the game tonight, like Seattle, even watching the overtime, like Seattle they play a lot better together. And we were talking before we started recording. I was saying, like, Seattle, they're not their players are on the roster, like on paper, it's a lot of young guys, some rookies, some sophomores, and a bunch of like has-beens or a bunch of throwaways from other teams. But they're better than the Canucks. The Canucks have, like, Elias Pettersson shouldn't have to get 5 points on the Canucks, but you have JT Miller, you got 100 points last year. Like Quinn Hughes, Benster was the All-Star MVP. He had a great rookie year. Kuzmenko is good. Like, they have all of these great players. They can't put it together. And so I've come to the realization that I'm really putting it on the owners, really. They're trying to make the playoffs so bad each time and trying to stay competitive when really they shouldn't. And they got to. You look at the teams that have really kind of embraced the rebuild and embraced the full tank and kind of build up. And I guess, to be fair, it hasn't worked out for everyone. You can look at like the Edmontons and the Buffaloes, but they probably didn't do it smart. But I think if you do it with the right plan, you can see some success. And the rumor is that that's what Linden wanted to do, and they kind of shipped him out. And I think the Aquilinis are just not it. It's not. I've kind of lost my passion a little bit for this team. It's sad to watch, really.
So I was just kind of looking at their last, however many games here. So since our last podcast, they are 4-3-0. All 4 of those wins have been in extra time, whether that be overtime or shootout. Every other one has been a regulation loss. Their last regulation win was back in November 26th. Since then, they've had 6 overtime wins as for their wins, and they're about right around 500 since in the last month. Even further, you can look at every single one of those wins, and those games have at least had 6 or 7 goals, except for one of them, which was 5 goals. So if they're winning, they are guns a-blazing, scoring, no defense, basically, probably not good goaltending. And the games they're losing, they're not scoring, and they're getting really pumped. You look at the games they're losing. Obviously, Corey mentioned they lost 5-1 twice in a row on home ice. A couple jerseys were thrown on. Before that, they lost to Minnesota 3-0. Then you look at, go back earlier in the month at home again to Florida and Washington, both 5-1 again. It's kind of a repetition there. So, like Corey mentioned, they just can't play well together. If they are getting these wins, it's barely happening, and you play a team that's on it when they do play, and they get pumped. Patterson missed those 2 most recent ones when they lost 5-1, and they looked lost out there. Their power play without Pettersson out there was just god awful, because teams know Pettersson is pretty much the quarterback of that. You can say Hughes is, but I think Pettersson is. And I don't know. I don't know what the hell they are gonna do. They are locked in.
I can tell you what they're gonna do.
Well, what's Aquilini gonna do? Tell me.
They're gonna keep trying to stay relevant, even though that's the worst thing they should do.
All of their trades that could be coming with Besser, Garland, Horvat. Hopefully, even though I think they will be. I think they're trying to do like hockey trades, player for players. They're not gonna blow it up fully.
Well, and that's kind of the big problem, right? Is that they refuse to commit to that.
Exactly.
So we're just going to keep staying where we are
and then
forever, or until we get new ownership or something.
Can possibly blow up in your face and then be even worse.
Well, that's the thing. They were a bad team for a stretch of like 5 years. They had a lot of high draft picks. So I get the idea of trying to get competitive again. It's just along the way they've also made bad decisions. Like, the Ekman Larson deal, not a great deal. They have no one on defense. The Tyler Myers signing was not a great signing. Other things like that. So,
yeah, I think when you look at the record, like Max, you were listing all of their high scoring, close games, any losses. It really isn't. You can't just say it's ownership. It's really like the whole top down. Everything is a problem right now. Like, the players aren't playing like they should be. Certain players, coaches, I don't know, clearly haven't adjusted styles well enough to suit those players. We'll talk about management shortly. We talked about ownership. Like, just nothing seems to be going how it should be going. I guess when you look at it from that view, it's kind of hard to say, oh, this is the problem, we'll just change this. We'll just change the ownership. We'll just change the coach. Because what if it doesn't work and then you just haven't made any progress again?
Well, of course. But this is the longest stretch in Canucks franchise history of missing the postseason. Or the amount of times they've missed the postseason in a given number of years. So, and it really just comes down to, like, that's why I'm just going to the top, because it's been so long now.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of about time.
You can only do so many coaching changes and
and
general manager, president changes before the one at the very top needs to be held accountable.
The problem is, too, they keep bringing in these new general managers or coaches, but it's still just Aquilini at the top as the puppet pulling all the strings, right? So really nothing's actually changed.
Oh, yeah.
They're too involved, and that's the problem. And it's hampered their team. Like Kyle says, they're going to try and stay relevant. That's always been the problem. That was the problem in 2012 after they lost the finals. It's like, you need to recognize that the Sedins had passed their winning prime, basically, and that whole team had kind of passed its prime, and they needed to start rebuilding then. They had that awkward Tortorella and Willie Desjardins years. Like, those were wasted. There was no point in signing Radim Verbata, right? There was players like that. There was no point in doing that. What are you trying to accomplish? And then, they had that run in the bubble where they did play very well, but we were carried by goaltending, and they needed to address some issues that they didn't there. They needed to, I think, continue with maybe a little bit of longer rebuild. And then they let guys like Edler and Tanev go, and they've replaced them with players that have not been as good as those players were. Those players are still playing. So, they're making decisions like they're locked in with Miller, they're locked in with Ekman Larson. Like, they're just in this weird they're destined for mediocrity at this point. And it's a shame because they actually have very good. The reason there's winning these games is because they have good individual players. Like, if Pettersson gets a chance, he'll score. He's a great player. Like, Hughes is amazing puck mover. Like, so it's this weird, like, they have the talent, but they just don't play well. And when I watched the last game I went to live was against Vegas, and it was like watching like a beer league team that doesn't practice together, and every guy kind of wants to like score, so they don't make a lot of passes. Like, That's what I was watching. I was watching Vegas play like a team. I was watching Vancouver like don't really know how to break out. They're either dumping or they're one player's losing the puck. Like very, very strange in my opinion. And yeah, I mean they were chanting "sell the team" at the game. So
Yeah, that's
anyway.
not something you want to hear.
I like Vancouver. I'll always like the Canucks. I'll still follow them. They're still my team, but it's like just bad. Anyways, I'm getting a little I'm getting a note to hurry it up. So we're gonna move. What we want to do is we want to talk about what has Rutherford done with the Canucks. Has it been enough? And then everyone give Jim Rutherford a letter grade so far. So I think Aaron is going to talk to us about that.
Yes, thank you, Corey. I must say that was a lot more ranting than I expected for how your voice was coming into this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than I expected to.
I respect the grind, though.
All right, I'll give you a little bit of break for a few minutes here. So yeah, basically like Corey said, we're just going to list a whole bunch of things that Rutherford's done. Again, maybe it's not all just him, but it has been about exactly a year plus a week or so since he got hired. I think we all expected things to go a little bit differently, but I'm just going to go through a couple things here and then we'll get your guys' opinions and rankings at the end here. So starting off with some signings. So we're just going to go quickly through some notable ones here. We have Kuzmenko, $950 for 1 year. Mikheyev, $4.75 for 4 years. Lazar, $1 million for 3 years. Joshua, $8.25 for 2 years. The big one, Miller, 8x7. And we have Rathbone. He was 1.7 for 2 years. And Besser, 6.65 for 3 years. I'll save your comments for the end, you guys, but I know there's some questionable ones in there. Going on to his trades. So starting in March of 2022, we have the Canucks giving away Hamonic, getting a third-round pick in the 2022 draft in return. And we have the Canucks getting Dermott, giving away 2022 third-round pick. So that didn't last long. We have them then gaining a 4th round in 2023 in exchange for Tyler Mott going to the Rangers. Moving on to July, our favorite trade here, we have the Canucks receiving Ekman Larson and Garland in exchange for Eriksson, Beagle, and Roussel, and a couple picks. Into October, we have the Canucks getting Riley Stillman, giving away Dickinson and a pick to Chicago. And we have the Canucks getting Studnicka, giving the Bruins DiPietro, Myrenberg, not really big names here. Final one, we have the Canucks getting Ethan Bear and Lane Pedersen in exchange for a 5th round pick. And now we're going to go into the 2022 draft. I'm not going to list everybody here because, to be honest, it just really wasn't that exciting of a draft. They had the 15th pick. They chose Jonathan Lekkerimäki. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Maybe his only redeeming move, we got Elias Pettersson 2.0, 80th overall. And then just a couple later picks that I won't really go into. Last thing I'm gonna get into here is just the coaching changes. So we had Brad Shaw left for Philadelphia, and he was replaced by Mike Yeo. Again, I hope that's how you pronounce it. I am very terrible with names. The other notable one here was Scott Walker. He left for personal reasons. And we had Trent Cull, who was promoted from Abbotsford as the new assistant coach. So that was basically everything. I know on my side, it doesn't really seem like a lot of good. Sorry, Max, something to add?
I had one note. That Ekman Larson Garland whole deal, that was before Rutherford and how that came in. That was 2021. Did you say 2022?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Sorry, when I looked up, I might have gotten the wrong date on the article there.
Yeah, no,
I guess we can't blame him for that
was
one,
like
then.
the off season before.
Fair enough.
funny.
He gets one pass then.
I was like, wait, he made that deal for a second there? Like, holy shit.
You were dropping your grade a few marks there.
Oh, I was going to F real quick, but no. No, that was Benning's masterclass on the way out.
Right. That's right. That was his final goodbye. A nice parting gift.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a big deal off the board.
Yeah, that's actually quite a major one. Which actually, when now you look at all the trades that Rutherford did do, there's not really anything hugely good or bad. There just wasn't a lot of anything. But anyways, not to get into my opinions too far just yet, I'm going to throw it over to you guys. So again, we want to hear what you think he deserves as a ranking. So obviously, you can't just pin it on him, but you're going to do that anyways for the next couple minutes. Give him a letter grade. Give us your reasons why he deserves that grade. Let's start with Max. Go ahead.
Oh, God. Like, it's just weird. Like, we've kind of been talking about this on the podcast about the Canucks and how they just can't perform. But you look at, on paper, what they've done with the signings and trades, and I like them. They're all simple trades, nothing major. I know that might be coming to an end soon, but they're all just little shake-up trades. You had a few at the start of the year because they went out of the gates pretty cold. Obviously, I've liked Ethan Bear, Lane Pedersen. Finally, he was lighting up the AHL, and then played great with Pedersen tonight. They're all just little shake-up moves. Swapping essentially Hamonic for Dermott sheds a bit of salary there, so just little minor moves. Acquiring Stillman's a bit of an L. And the fact that he's still playing and not being scratched is also a big L. But and then the signings, like, nothing really too wrong with it. Obviously, you can look at the Miller one. That's the biggest one. But all the other ones I'm a fan of. And, those are all deals that are done, because they think their team's competitive. And they kept everyone around. There's a lot of talk about Besser being traded in the offseason. They signed him. So, I know everyone's going to have their little points here and there, but I'm going to have to stick my letter grade as a C.
Okay.
You can't really fully maybe blame Rutherford and Alvin when it could be Aquilini's, whole thing about Miller, keeping him around. But I kind of do like their trades and, at least most of their signings. So I'll pass it off to Corey here. We'll leave Kyle for last because I know he's going to rip into him.
Well, actually, I kind of agree with what Max said. First, if you look at their signings, I wouldn't really call any of them a bad signing. And he didn't overpay any free agents. Okay, Mikheyev is I think the highest paid free agent that may be any free agent you basically are overpaying. But it's not in gross overpay. And I like Mikheyev. The Miller, who was he? Oh, the Besser? The Miller and the Besser re-signing. Well, you're keeping assets. They could have traded Miller, but they decided to keep, you re-sign, you keep an asset. They may, eventually trade him. But you're not going out and overpaying for some free agents. So that's okay. The trades, I'm Riley Stillman. I'm not big on that trade. Is that the one where we got rid of Dickinson?
Yeah. Dickinson
Okay, well,
and a second rounder.
So that sucks, but you're getting rid of some of, like, the second rounder sucks, but that's kind of cleaning up some of the betting mistakes, because Dickinson was a bad contract, or we had a dump salary. So I kind of get that one. You know, I like Ethan Bear. I like Studnicka. I like some of the little players he's brought in. So there isn't really a lot I can really put a bad grade on him. I think overall the team is getting an F for me in general, and that's probably why I'm giving, like, you know, is it Boudreau? Is it Rutherford? Is it Alvin? I don't know. So that's why I'm just kind of putting the onus on the Aquilinians here. But Rutherford in general, like, has he made this team worse? I don't think so. No. So I don't know. I'll give him a C. I'll give him a C because there's not really much to, like. Yeah, I think he isn't. And you know what? He did a great job in Pittsburgh. He's a smart general manager. What is he going to do with Vancouver? Couldn't tell you. But, you know, he did a good job with. Well, he did inherit some of the best players in the world. Yeah, that always helps. But he made trades that were pivotal in their wins, and they would not have won if he didn't make those trades. So yeah, to close it out, I'll give Rutherford a C for now.
All right, Kyle, what do you got for us?
I definitely agree with a lot of the points that Max and Corey have. I would drop my letter grade down to a C minus, just because I don't see a successful plan in place to make this team a contending team, or even a playoff team. Obviously, the players have played subpar, but I think that there's just not a plan in place to, like, have, like, a team that's gonna be competitive in the future, or, like, start building a team that's gonna be competitive in the future, and using your salary cap as an asset. Like, at the end of the day, Rutherford inherited a sinking team, and he's just held their head underwater as well. So he hasn't improved at all. He's just made the same errors that the GM before him made, or not the GM before him, but the management team before him made, in signing huge contracts and hoping that it pays off, but having no plan for the future. Like that Miller contract, you sign Miller, you'd think you'd have a plan for Bo Horvat right afterwards, but no, they're just kind of letting him do his thing until the trade deadline comes around, and now his value's not that high because you're only getting him for 20 games in the playoffs instead of getting him for 60 games in the playoffs. So mistake after mistake after mistake, and yeah, it's the same mistake that happens. Like, if they would have traded Miller last year, like I thought they should have, then they would have had assets in place and maybe had not as good of a team as they have right now, but at least a couple of years down the road, they'd have a better team. But
Yeah. I'd agree.
Yeah, I think when you look back at how we all sort of felt when he was appointed, I think we all had a lot higher expectations, just basically because of his history in Pittsburgh, right? We saw he always made a lot of big moves, and he built this really good team. Yes, he had good players given to him, but he still clearly did a pretty good job. I guess that's kind of indicative of how much we think Aquilinis are actually impacting this management. If he now hasn't been allowed to do what he's been good at in the past, maybe that's why he's hurting so much. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think I'd agree with most of you guys, around a C+ range for him for sure. I was going to ask, though, mainly to Max and Corey, if there's anything that you would have wanted him to do differently that would have drastically changed your grade.
Max, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, Well, it's a good question. I think it easily has to do with Kyle's answer, and the fact that I, as a fan, don't even know the direction of this team, and I don't even know if they do. I swear we're going week by week, and I swear they're just waiting to see if this team can either catch fire or just drown, and then they do a complete rebuild. I think they're still trying to see what this team is, and easily. When it happened, when Miller got signed in the summer, I thought for sure Horvat would be like either signed the next day, at the same time, the next week. The fact that they basically just put him off until during the season was completely, complete mistake. So that's definitely my response.
Yeah. I think, first of all, it's, can't say like general manager is incredibly difficult, so I can't really say I would have advice on how to do it better, to be honest. I think building a championship team is incredibly difficult, and not only do you have to be lucky with what happens, but you have to do everything perfect and then get lucky. And you look at this past decade, I think it's kind of telling how there's four championship teams that have won multiple championships. For the last 10 years, Chicago, LA, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay. So the teams that have kind of figured it out and have been able to succeed, and then you look at other teams that have had plans. Maybe they haven't had the right plans. But you look at teams that Toronto, like the Santa plan or whatever they called it. Like they've set up and they've been a playoff team for better part of the decade, but haven't there's something missing from it. And you could talk a long time about that one. So I don't really know where I was going with this. But what I would do differently, I don't know. It appears that the Miller deal is going to be hampering the team. This is my answer. I would have preferred to keep Horvat long term over Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have rather traded Miller and re-signed Horvat. I think Horvat is, I've thought this for a while, I think he's the most valuable player to the Canucks. And I think he's the type of player that he's not ultra talented offensively, but I think he's really kind of like that backbone Taves / Ryan O'Reilly-esque kind of player.
He's the captain.
And he's the captain. I'm a huge fan of Horvat. I think he's been very underrated in his career, and above all is one of the best face-off takers in the league, which we know how important that is for teams. So I think any team looking at signing him in free agency is going to look at his face-off percentage, and he'll make some big dollars from that one. Yeah, I guess that's all the time we have, right? End it there.
Yeah, I don't know what else we'd have to say about him.
All right, Kyle, why don't you take us into some trivia?
Absolutely. So if you follow us on Instagram, you would have seen our trivia from the past couple weeks. If you don't follow us on Instagram, go follow us on Instagram.
And why are you not following us on Instagram? Jeez.
Yeah. So Trivia Tuesdays 2 weeks ago, the answer was, of course, Taylor Hall winning back-to-back Memorial Cups with the Windsor Spitfires. And last week was Igor Shesterkin. I think I got that one on the 70-something save night. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
I made both of those, posts. So
Yeah.
that obviously came from last year's playoffs when it went to, I believe it was 3 overtimes against the Penguins. We ended up losing, funny enough.
Damn, get wrecked.
So sad. But I know, Kyle, you nailed the Taylor Hall one because of the Memorial Cups.
Yeah. Those Taylor Hall Memorial Cups were like in my like prime of like paying attention to every little hockey thing.
Okay, fair.
So Windsor Spitfires, like there's only a few players that came to mind, but Taylor Hall was at the top of that list, so I pretty much had that right away. Yeah. I guess that means we're jumping into the trivia I got made up. I got 2 for us today. I made these a few weeks ago, and I'm super excited to present them because I think the first one you guys should get. At least I know Corey will probably get this. I'm hoping that Max and Aaron get a good crack at it too. And then the second one will be a bit more challenging. So, are we ready to rock and roll?
Ready.
Boy.
Perfect. 11:11 on the dot. I wish you guys some luck. Perfect. So, general question. Hint number 1. This player was drafted by Ottawa in 2004, but was traded for Peter Bondra to the team he would spend his best years with, the Capitals.
Oh. Peter Bondra.
Ready for hint number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Hint number 2. This player famously changed a random motorist's flat tire just hours after a heartbreaking Game 7 loss to the Habs in the 2010
God.
playoffs.
I remember that story too.
Yeah,
Shoot.
I remember it too. Yeah.
I guess I'm the only one that's never heard that.
Any guesses?
I have none.
No.
Okay, hint number 3. This forward would also spend a year each with the Leafs and Kings at the end of his career. Tough one, eh?
Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. I'm
Hopefully,
like Aaron. I remember the story though.
yeah.
I have no recollection of who that was.
Hint number 4. Ready for it?
Yeah.
This grinder wore an A with the Capitals for 3 years. He wore jersey number 21 as well.
Oh man, I think. I think I got it. Can I
Aaron?
guess?
Any guesses, Aaron?
No, I don't got it.
What do you got, Corey?
Is it Chris Brown?
It is not Chris Brown.
Right, he's a singer. I forgot.
Do you want a 4th or 5th hint?
Yeah.
His initials are BL.
DL. DL Lee?
No.
Is it? No. What?
I got.
What? Fuck.
Do you want the hint? Or
And
the answer?
another hint.
Sorry.
No,
Another
another.
hint?
Yeah.
Another hint.
Bring up
Good
his
God.
elite prospects. That's
Yeah, I'll bring up his elite prospect.
power play specialist.
Hey, last time it didn't. Last time it did say power play specialist. Sorry, I just gotta prospects. Find his.
I should know it. If he was an assistant on Washington, I should know.
He played center a little bit, second line, and left wing.
Lewis?
No. So I'm trying to find it like a scouting report.
No, that's not going to help me.
There.
Oh, man, what's
Okay. I got a scouting report here. I don't know if this will help at all. Had sound leadership qualities and could often play through a lot of pain. Displayed keen ability to play well defensively. Was also plenty versatile, heady, and a solid dependable teammate. Was effective in front of the net where he uses his size well. Injuries ground his offensive game to a virtual halt. Wow, that's ruthless.
Damn.
He also had the tendency to run a little hot and cold in terms of production. Continues to prove his overall quickness, but did not own game-breaking speed. If you didn't, I was basically banking on you knowing based on the flat tire thing.
Yeah, no, I can't remember who it was. What's his
I
first
don't
name?
think anyone's getting it.
Brooks.
Oh, I thought you said D. It's Brooks Like. I thought you said D.
I said BL.
BL. I thought you said DL.
Oh no, another trivia
Oh, no.
controversy.
Oh, it's Brooks Like. Yeah.
Yeah, duh.
So I said D.
Okay, I need some judges here. Aaron, Max.
No, it's fine. Whatever. I said D.
Whatever,
D.
stupid
Whatever.
question.
I did hear B.
So did I.
Oh,
Ooh.
I heard D. I was thinking like, I don't know. I was trying to like make a name up. I was like, is it Dominic Lewis? I'm like, no, that person doesn't exist. Damn it. Yeah, Brooks Lake. Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, we are
Okay.
not getting the second one.
Ready for the second one?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so this is the Pat question. I bet Pat would nail this.
Oh god.
But still within like the time frame where like for sure Corey would have some knowledge here, and possibly Max and Aaron as well. Okay, hint number 1. Teams played for in order: Dallas Stars, New Jersey Devils, Dallas Stars, St. Louis Blues. But he spent most of his years with the New Jersey Devils. Okay, hint number 2. This one's probably burned in your guys' memory, like it was mine.
Okay.
This player was parked in front of the net along with Zach Parise when Parise scored the game-tying goal in the gold medal game of the 2010 Olympics. He was captain for that team.
Oh, I got it. Kyle, I got it.
Okay.
Shit.
I'll read the other hints off, and I'm sure Corey knows exactly who it is. Any guesses, Max, Aaron?
I'm trying
None
to
from
picture
me.
that damn moment when. No, I got nothing.
No? Okay. Hint number 3. This player played on the, and I quote, ZZ Pop's line with Zach Parise and Travis Zajac. Nothing's changed, guys.
This is just slightly too early on stuff I would know. Damn.
That's fair. That's fair. And hint number 4. This winger won the cup with the Stars in 1999 and with the Devils in 2003. He later captained the Devils from 2007 to 2011.
Fuck. Oh no.
Corey, you're still confident?
Yeah.
Who you got?
Okay, well, initials would be JL. Jamie Langenbrunner.
Jamie Langenbrunner it is.
Nice. And was he not captain of USA during 2010?
Yeah. That's what I said on the hint. Is he captain that team?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry if the wording was confusing. Like it sounded like Parise captained the team. No, it was Langenbrunner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, because he always made he made that team, but he wasn't. Yeah, that's a good one. He was always around, like a good player, but someone you don't always think of.
Yeah. His like the image of him standing on top of the crease when Parise poked that puck on the Luongo is burned in my memory. So as soon as I saw the name, I was like, yeah, I gotta do that one.
I didn't know he played for St. Louis, but
I think he did for like the last year or two of his career.
Yeah. Huh. Nice. Yeah, that was a good one.
Perfect.
Those were both good ones, actually.
Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
That's all I'm
Don't
going
hear
for.
that often.
Yeah,
Awesome.
those are good.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, so since our last podcast, or shortly after it, we posted on our Instagram polls. That's another hint for you guys to go over there and start following it. And that was asking you if you all believed Carey Price, Joe Thornton, Taze, and Bergeron all belong to the Hall of Fame after their respective careers. I think we all know that we all knew everyone would say yes, and that's pretty much what happened. Next time we do that segment, we'll try and find some more controversial ones, because that was a bit of a blowout, I would say.
We should post more controversial ones this week.
We could.
Yeah.
Like what? Putting you on the
Well,
spot.
I find a lot of people are on the fence about Kopitar.
Okay.
I think he's an automatic Hall of Famer, but I know a lot of people don't think so. And I'm sure there's a couple others we could do. Brent Burns, Duncan Keith, maybe.
Yeah, they're all good. We'll post a couple of them coming up here, and that does about it. I'll pass it over to Aaron.
So is that going to be our fan question then, or did you have something else planned there?
No, that was a spontaneous fan question.
All right, I like it. Okay, well, thanks, Max. Like mentioned, please make sure you check out our Instagram and our Facebook. We do have a Facebook page now, both of them being at Chel Stars. Other than that, we will be back next week with another new episode. So thanks for listening, and happy holidays to everybody.
Merry Christmas.